Oh, shit, we're live. Anyway, so Smackin steel, fucking shit. Rah. I don't want to keep the door open. It's cold. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly add a poll. How do we write? I cannot type when it's on this angle. My goodness. Fire poker? Question mark? Start that poll. Alright, so we've got a poll start. Anyway, for those of you who, in a rare circumstance, might come back and watch this, tonight we will be making this into a little letter opener. But the plan is, I want to try and get it a consistent, like, sort of width along there. My goodness, that wind coming in is cold from that door. Anyway, so then we're going to put like a little scroll in it, and then we're going to hammer out an edge on one of these and make a letter opener, I guess. We don't necessarily need to make it out of this. Make it out of anything, really, but... oh well. Get this wood fired up. We have it on 10. Anyway, so 10's about the minimum pressure, 10 psi is about the minimum pressure that this thing will operate on. Outside of that, it just refuses to work. But now, last week I was talking about that tanto. This is how it's turned out. So it took me ages to grind down that edge on my little setup that I got, but that's basically the tanto now. So the edge is set on it, just needs to be heat treated, which we'll do tonight as well. So I shall pop that in the forge now, get that up to heat, and hopefully it doesn't twist, because if it twists, well, we're just going to have to hammer it straight again and do the whole process all over again. While that's doing that, chuck this in there as well. Like I said, we just want nice consistent width on that one. And then, yeah, we'll just see how we go. So I said that wind was cold that was coming in. There's no wind now because it's being blasted away all the heat. It's quite good. Don't know what the topic of our shit talking tonight's going to be, so if you have any suggestions or recommendations for a topic for shit talking, chuck it in the comments. Said hi. Hello. What's a topic we can talk about? Fidel's wild. Give us a topic and we'll just start talking shit, because I like to talk. There's no better time to talk than when you're doing stuff. We've got a topic yet? Said hi. There's another said hi. Okay, cool. Cool. Topics for discussion. Chuck them in the comments. Politics. You got to be a bit more specific than that. There's so much going on in the world of politics right now. I love talking politics, by the way. I will happily talk politics, but give me something specific to talk about, and then we'll see how we go. Anyway, we're going to try and get this semi-consistent with really well with Thomas. So, flatten it down, keep it straight. By the way, like, what we got? We got a lot of people saying hi. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Trump's weak. I'm not kidding. Like, I know it's a common topic for discussion is how orange his hair is, and that he wears a wig. I'm not convinced it is a wig. I'm convinced he just has really shit hair. Like, speaking of somebody who's sort of ginger and has terrible hair as well, it's a likely possibility he might just have terrible hair. I don't know though. If there's any hairdressers in the the comments, feel free to prove me wrong on that one. But I'm convinced he just has bad hair. I got bad hair. He just has bad hair. My hair's very thin too. I keep getting comments. Jeez. Fire pokers. Yeah. So we've got 6 votes for the fire poker. What votes are we at? 100%. Ah, well, the people have spoken. If you say so. Anyway, I probably should have cut this shorter before this. I completely forgot to do that. That'll do. Chuck that bad boy in there. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I reckon this might bend a little bit. So this is its first quench. Get the edge set and everything and hammering it nice and straight and get that nice taper you see there on the end. That one. So we'll see how it goes with its first heat treat. If it twists, that's okay. If it cracks, bigger problem because that's harder to solve. But we'll see how we go. Anyway. Okay, so that's his first quench. Doesn't look like it twisted. How's that? Fire, I'm wearing shorts. Did you graduate from Homer Simpson's college? Yeah, look, my pants that I had, all of my other pants are made out of non-flammable material, but let me clarify on that. So, my day job is a firery, right? I don't know, this is going to sound ridiculous, but my day job is a firery. And you would think, as a firery, I'm always going to be in like full gear. Not the case at all. So, this shirt is made out of cotton. These pants are like a weird cotton blend. The reason I'm wearing cotton, and let me explain, because cotton catches fire. You're thinking, why would you want to wear something that catches fire out of fire? Good question. But if I was wearing, say, a nylon shirt, nylon doesn't really catch fire, but it likes to melt. And I've learned through personal experience, seeing stuff on the job, that if you're going to wear any clothes around something where you might likely catch fire, wear clothes that will catch fire, not clothes that will melt to your body and then catch fire. That's why I'm wearing cotton blends. So, it's a better idea to do it this way. Plus, the likelihood of my legs catching fire are pretty minimal. It's more likely sleeves and stuff that are going to catch fire. This is where all my burns are going to be if I get it. So, with the fire poker, I've heated the wrong part of it, but what we're going to do is we're going to taper down the end, make it pointy, because it's just going to be a basic fire poker. So clearly, I need to use my Blacksmith's blade. Chuck that bad boy in there. Keep that up. Just about ready for its second quench. So this is the boring part of quenching, is you stand here making sure it's evenly and consistently. I like to quench 3 times. You anneal 3 times and quench 3 times. I don't know why. I don't have OCD. It's just a weird rule I've come up with. And honestly, I know fuck all about blacksmithing, so don't treat anything as it's possible. Anyway, consistently eat it. Swirl it around. Pull it out. I shouldn't be seeing too much steam come off of it. Double check it's not twisted, not warped anywhere. How's that look? Turned out alright, didn't it? Is nothing happened to your short you? Hey? Say that again, I don't understand. I was just talking about least likely to burn my legs. Oh, at least that's heated. Anyway, so that's the fun part. Tapering. Everybody loves a good taper. Literally just just chuck it there. Started by getting it sort of square, as you can see there, and then we'll just go around and tap it down to a nice point. So that is something I had to learn off the internet, like most of the shit I know. Is go square, go octagon, then round, then square, then octagon, then round. Anyway, so this thing wants to getting its thickness reduced. The reason for that is the same material I made the tanto out of, I'm going to make this letter opener out of, but this hasn't been annealed, so it takes a little bit extra effort. So for those who don't know, annealing is basically you make the metal softer so it's easier to work. Because if you're trying to work really hard metal, like just for want of a better term, raw, it's just going to take a lot more effort. You can do it, but it's going to take a lot more effort. Anyway, so just about ready for that third quench on the tanto, and then when that's done, I can just clean it up off camera. I won't be doing that on the live stream. And then put a handle on it, and send it to my mate over in Perth. I don't normally make knives. I don't normally really make much. I normally try to make things, but it doesn't really turn out. But go on, give us another topic of discussion. Drop your topics of discussion in the chat, and I'll have a look at it instead. I'm going to put this one in for another heat. Quickly read. What am I doing? So, what I'm doing is I'm making a fire poker, I'm making a letter opener, and I'm just about to do the third and final quench on this tanto, which I'll pull out in a sec. I'll quench it, I'll show you. So it's a little bit too hot in the middle there. You can see it easier in the camera actually. I'll show you that a little better in there. Make sure it's nice and evenly heated across the blade, otherwise it'll get soft spots. Or it'll warp, which I don't want it to do on the third one. That'll be a pain in the butt. What I was talking about. It's gone kind of banana shaped now, which means we need to fix it. Not good. So, I want your opinion on this because I was thinking there is a disturbing lack of fire safety videos on YouTube. And I'm kind of in a unique position where I could be considered a subject matter field expert. What do you reckon about seeing fire safety videos on YouTube? Like, not really boring dry ones like, this is how you use a fire extinguisher. It's going to be ones where it's like, this is how you use a fire extinguisher. It's done in like 30 seconds. So if, you know, you desperately need to know how to use a fire extinguisher, you can use one. I've been thinking about it for a while. Like, I've been just got a piece of scale land on my hoodie somehow. I've been making YouTube videos on and off for about 11 years now. So I've been at this for a hot minute. And the most common thing I've had trouble with that entire time is running out of ideas for videos. I was thinking, instead of having those two things separate, my work life and my YouTube life, what if I just didn't? Because there's plenty of firing on YouTube. And there are fire safety videos, but the ones that I've seen so far are like, they're made for people that are already in that field. There's not a whole lot made for people that have no exposure to that world, if you know what I mean. So I was thinking, instead of just seeing the problem and not doing anything about it, what if I just did something about it? I don't know. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Anyway. I would genuinely like to hear your opinion on this. Tell me your opinion. What should I do? Should I make fire safety videos? That's really going to annoy me if it keeps doing that. Get in the hole. Here we go. So banana. Just light taps to straighten it. And make sure it's flat against the face of the anvil when you do that. If you don't make sure it's flat against the face of the anvil, it's going to be a clusterfuck. I'm crying. Why are you crying? You are doing good, thank you. Yeah, so apparently we're making a fire poker, but I'm already on to that, so sick. But yeah, what is reckon? What is reckon? And if you forgot the question I've just asked, see, there we go. Now we just flatten it out, top down. Yeah, if you've forgotten about the question I've just asked, I was asking what your opinion is on me making fire safety videos on YouTube. So now we can recognise it already before we do it. It's heated a little bit too much in the middle there and not enough on the side, so I'm just going to let it cool a little bit, put it back in, and then quench it. The best way to evenly heat it, I've found, through lots and lots of trial and error, is to just keep it moving. Just stay right there. Also, by the way, this letter opener, I've never made one before, so I've got no clue what I'm doing. Okay, so twist it again a little bit, but just a little bit, right near the tip. So that's fixable, easily fixable. Anyway, so flattening it this side. Yeah. that's one of the other things I want to do is like, I've been making stuff poorly in my shed for about a year now. And it was suggested on one of the live streams I did, why don't you make a sword? So I'm like, why don't I? Nothing's stopping me from making a sword. I just don't have the technical know-how yet. Like I always say, if you never give it a go, you're never gonna know. So one of these streams I'll do like a longer one, and we'll make a sword. I'm just straightening it there. It's starting to go a little bit wonky. Also, if you've got things that hit the ground near where you're going to be walking around fire, get them out of the road straight away, like that. I like my brush, but I have no qualms just kicking it out of the road if it's in the road. Anything else has been dropped in here? I am crying, become a good person, that's why. I don't understand. You're going to need to clarify. Anyway. Yeah, so come on, give us topics for talking shit. We were just talking about Donald Trump's hair before, for some reason. How about this? Give us a topic that doesn't involve Donald Trump or American politics. Just once. Just want someone to turn on some form of media and not see something about the latest something. Actually, what countries have we got in the chat? I will personally give you a shout out if you come from like not one of the normal ones, like America or Australia, which is cool. But if you come from say Kazakhstan, which is probably going to be like unlikely. But if you're in there, let me know. Because that's the sickest spot. Now, let's see how that goes. Maybe that was the problem, I was putting it in too slowly. What she said. Yes! No banana-ing that time. Woo! Nice and straight. And the best part is, the bevel that I ground down hasn't disappeared. It's still there. So I'm going to sit that one over there to cool down. And then that'll get chucked in my oven later. It's not used to cook food, it's only used to cure metal. And that'll go through what's called a tempering process, which I'm still learning what all these words mean. For the most part, I think I've got it like relatively figured out. Anyway, so you can see that it's not exactly consistent along all the edges. It's like it flares out in some places. That'll all fix with grinding. Still going to get it down as flat as I possibly can without it cracking and chipping off. That's pretty much. Hey Sarah, how you going? Good to see you again. So, everybody, for those who don't know, Sarah has been a viewer on my channel for a long time. She's been around for a long time. How many years has it been now, Sarah? It's been like years since I started my channel. Because back in the day, I had a pretty active subscriber base, but for some reason, I just stopped making videos and people stopped watching them, and I don't blame them because I stopped making videos. Yeah, I think just like most people, I got busy with life, had to go and do a full-time job, was too tired with family. I mean, I do a full-time job now, but I'm also an adult who knows how to manage his fatigue better, so it took me a while to learn how to do that. Don't be worried if you don't figure it out before you're 25. I did. So that's some good talking shit for you. Get some life advice from the guy who's not even 30 yet. Listen to your elders. I wouldn't classify myself as one. I still think I'm shit, but listen to your elders because a lot of the time their advice is hard won as well. And normally that hard won advice is the best advice you can get. But there is something to be said about making mistakes and learning lessons yourself. There is nothing wrong with that. As long as your lessons that you learn and mistakes you make aren't harming other people and aren't harming you, like bad, there's nothing wrong with doing that at all. Get back to the fire phone for a second. Just want to give us a bit more of a flame. There we go. That's good. That's good. Easy to grind down the edge on that one, shouldn't take me too long. Trick is now, I've got to flip it around and do the handle. So let it cool just a little bit. While I was doing that, let's have a look at more of these. What's up, my name is Cutter. As in like Cuttable. There's a town near me called Cuttable and it's spelled like your first name but then with B-U-L on the end. So, sorry, what? I didn't read that one, sorry. I don't even remember how long, yeah. I'll be 30 next year. How do you know that? I mean, I've probably mentioned my age before. I'm 30 yet. I'm 29 this year. So I'm nearly 30. I'm starting to get like the typical like 30-year-old knee pain, back pain. I mean, I've always had back pain, but that's what you get for being a tall person. Just remember that. If you're born tall and you grow up tall, you're probably going to have back pain and it's your fault for being born tall. Anyway, now that that's cooled down, okay, I'm going to need your opinion again, everyone. So the handle starts about there and goes to there. What are we doing? Are we doing like a scroll or are we doing a twist? Let me know. You have a minute to decide. If you think scroll, type scroll. If you think twist, type twist. And then we'll go from there. But while actually doing that, take this out. The reason I'm doing this down is because, yes, that's still quite hot there. I want to hold it a little bit closer up, and at the moment, yeah, right there is still very hot. That's all smoke from my gloves, by the way, and steam from the thing. So, if you don't know if it's hot, don't touch it unless you've got like leather gloves on. Better way to do it is put the back of your hand near it. If you can feel heat coming off of it, don't touch it. Just don't touch it. The twist. So we've got two twists. No, we've got one twist, but twice from one person. Okay. I'm glad you said that because I prefer doing twists. One, they're easier to do, but two, I also think they look cooler. I really love me a good twist. So everything's set up over there. So what I'll do, scroll right on that end there, would it? So we'll give that a go. But yeah, anyway, what's everyone been up to? Tell me about your day. My day was pretty good. Got some assignments done. I ate a really good lunch. I was planning on going to the gym, but that didn't happen. But that's okay, there's always tomorrow. Oh, also, I recently bought an e-bike. Oh my god, let me tell you about this e-bike. Okay, so it's just like a, for those of you in Australia, it's one that you get from Anaconda. It's a fluid Outback or something like that. It's like $1,000 bike. Right, so I saved up for it, bought this e-bike because I wanted to start riding my bike to work again. The ride's a bit fast. I'm like, I want to get an e-bike as well. There's like a whole story behind it, which I'll go into once I put this back in. But basically, I bought this bike, and it's a mountain bike with like a drum engine on it. And I didn't know what a drum engine was before this, by the way, so don't be worried if you don't know. Anyway, this thing is fucking sick. It's like awesome, honestly. I reckon easily best purchase I've made all year. So that's our taper. I'm getting there very slowly. But yeah, basically my idea behind buying an e-bike was because I go hunting down New South Wales sometimes, legally. It's legal shooting. Not illegal, it's legal. And instead of walking around on the trails for like kilometres and kilometres and kilometres, which takes you a while, eats up a whole chunk of your morning, it's a pain in the bum when you've got lots of gear. I thought, I'll get a mountain bike, so that way I can just like quietly ride up and down, exercise, and also get to see some pretty cool views, and also get to try out a new mountain bike. I was like, I'll buy a normal one. Then like, actually no, I kind of want to get an e-bike so I can ride to work as well. That's exactly what I did, and my goodness, this thing, this power, once you pedal it, the power kicks in, you just go wee up a hill. It's like, you've got to keep pedaling. But honestly, the pedaling's just for show. And at the end of the day, the pedaling is just for show. But this thing it's sick. I'll show you in a sec, it's right over there. But yeah, you just charge it, and then you, I think the engine tops out, sorry, not the engine, the motor, tops out at like 25k an hour. But holy crap, this thing is awesome. It's great. I really like it. I really like it. Really good. Starting to like, so you can sort of see in the camera, it's like, that's not a hole that I punched in there, it folds in like that. It'll get to a point where you actually start getting bits of metal chip off, and I'm honestly better off grinding it down at that point. We'll work on this letter opener, because that's what I said I was going to do. So just going to put it, we're going to drive a bit more near here, otherwise we're going to bend it. Then dip on it. Still working on my scrolling ability, by the way. I haven't taken any lessons on how to do any of this, and a lot of it is completely new. I just got to remember, no matter how bad it bends, I can fix it. Everything's fixable. That's why I love metalwork. It's so forgiving. It's ridiculously forgiving. I'll read the chat in a sec. I'm just going to do this while I'm thinking about it. But yeah, there we go. Do that as well. You know what that'll do. It's too fragile. It's too small and too fragile. Anyway, so we got, you ever consider a moped? No way. I am not going to do that. I had a motorized bike, not sure if it was an e-bike. Yeah, it's not motorized, it's just like, yeah, I'll show you. It's that one there. Excuse the mess. That one right there. It's it's not a sponsor, but it's a fluid out back. I'm pretty sure that is the name. I'll just go check instead of guessing. I'll have a look. Yeah, so do you think they'd write the model on it anywhere? No. It's probably an Outback. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so this one's nice and hot. I'm going to go chuck it in the twister. Be right back. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, so yeah, no, but it's pretty good. I like it. It's a good e-bike. So anyway, flight program. Supposed to make a flight program. I can only do this for an hour, by the way, because the local council, yeah, probably be up my arse in like half an hour, telling me to shut up. So I'll be as quick as possible. What time is it there? It's just 6:05. It's a lot colder here, by the way. I used to live in North Queensland, as you might remember, Sarah. It's colder down here. I'm still not used to it yet. I'm taking my time, but I'm getting there. You fix this. It's like a challenge. Hello? Can you fix this twist? I don't know. I think this one might be unfixable. He says, as he proceeds to fix it. Holy crap. If I get away with this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Still looks a bit wonky, but I might have fixed it. Yeah. Anyway. We got more tapering to do. But yeah, so projects wise, I'd like to build a sword. That's going to be a big one. A spearhead's another one. Just because it looks cool. Spears are cool. I don't care what anyone says. Spears are cool. If you own a spear, you're cool. Even if it's just a wooden spear. Even if it hasn't got a metal tip. Even if you bought it off eBay. Spears are cool. I don't think they're the mother of all weapons, but when you spin them around and stuff, they look sick. Everyone gave that kid on YouTube, like one of the earlier videos, all that crap for doing that spinny thing. I reckon it looks sick. You should all have more nerdy friends. Nerdy friends are cool. I've got a nerdy friend in the band. He can play like 12 different instruments. Super smart dude, can solve a Rubik's Cube under 10 seconds. But, best part about it, humble as fuck. You never would have guessed he's in like a band, that's a really good band, by the way. Lost Beneath, look him up. Look him up. If you're into metal, Lost Beneath, look up that band. It's a sick band. Anyway. gas-wise to have 2 projects on the go, but my goodness, can it be a pain in the butt. Alright, so making sure this is really good and straight, just about to quench it. Not that anyone gets many letters these days, but I mean, it's a fun little project. With a piece of metal I otherwise would have thrown in the bin, so I may as well use it, and I may as well have fun doing it. Alright, I'll quench this one. I'm going to have a drink break. Stay hydrated, folks. It's smart to do that. Hydration, where is that? This thing's not going to be heavy duty. I can quench the whole thing. Yeah. So with like axes and knife because that's the part that doesn't work. Nothing else really needs to be super hard and like keeps an edge. I can quench the whole thing just because I don't want it to bend. So it's because otherwise it's a pain in the ass to fix it. That's my thinking anyway. And my thinking might not be the right thinking, so feel free to ask someone who actually knows what they're talking about. You look cold, brother. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people that if I've got a like hoodie on, depending on what the temperature is, I'm like not too cold, but once it drops below 10, I have to have long pants on. It's not bad at the moment. I think it's like 15 or 14. And yes, there's people out there that be like 15, 14. That's not cold at all. I'm from North Queensland. I grew up in North Queensland, where it rarely gets to that temperature. It's cold for me. It is cold for me. But we got started. We started quite quickly. So, what we will do now is finish this. Am I going to quench it 3 times? Yeah. That. Burning sword, letter opening. That the world's shittiest letter opener, when I quench it, doesn't twist. But this thing that I put so much work into, the moment I quench it, it twists. How does that work? Now, while that's cold, let's double check that on camera. You can do with a bit of a regrind, but as far as tantos go, I think Jack is going to be very pleased with that. I have no idea what they're barking at. What's this? Ah, that's who it is. 19 at night. Yeah, sure is that. It doesn't get to 19 at night in Cairns. I don't believe you. Actually, maybe it has, because lately in Warwick the weather has been wet and windy and not at all cold, according to the locals. It's cold for me. Whereas up north, is it getting the complete opposite weather? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And yes, before you ask, Josh, I will be on Destiny tonight. And you better be on it too. Yeah. Actually, anyone watching, have none of you ever played Destiny 2 until only recently? I don't know how I've gone the past 10 years without playing that game. The entire time it was there. The entire time. And I've only just discovered it. It's bullshit, man. that's our fire poker. If you feel so inclined, you can skip right to the like earliest part of the video and see what that looked like. It looked like a piece of metal, and now it looks like a slightly prettier piece of metal. So, like I said, don't get a whole lot of letters anymore. But if I get one now, I can open it. So, yeah, got a little twist in there. It's cool enough for me to touch. You know, tiny little scroll. So if I really want, I can hang it on something. I don't know. I like to think this is what our ancestors got up to. Like the ones that just messed around in the blacksmith shop. I mean, probably didn't mess around because steel back then would have been a lot harder to get along. But yeah, it's cool. This is something our ancestors had to do. Except they didn't have LPG like I do. Because I'm better. They just had coal forges. Alright, I'm getting a drink. Alright, oh, sweet nectar for gods. But yeah. What's these comments we got here? You better try and get on, bro. Yeah, off to Jack Napier. Because basically, I promised him a tanto, and I'm going to send him a tanto. So, I can't remember. That's right, no, I remember it now. So, there is a video on my channel somewhere of like that Bulgarian bayonet or whatever the fuck it was. That was sent from my friend Jack, who lives in Perth. Basically, he sent me that, and I said, like, do you want... I said, do you want me to make you something out of steel? And he's like, I think he said it as a joke. He's like, haha, you can make me a tanto if you want. I'm like, ha, bet. He's like, wait, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to make you a tanto now. I've never made one before. That's made out of... Everything I make, basically, is made out of recycled steel. Because there's lots of good steel out there that just gets thrown away when it could just be repurposed into something like a shitty letter opener or a tanto. So, yeah, I'm making the tanto. Now all I need to do is put a handle on it. For those who don't know, Hungry Wogorigini in the chat is another good friend of mine. And he got a knife for Christmas. Actually, I'm going to ask him tonight, you better be using that knife. And if you haven't, you better come up with a good bloody excuse. I grabbed this completely wrong. There we go. You better come up with a really good excuse for why you haven't been using it. You know what we could do? Just to be like extra sick, is put like a curve in this. You know, I'm going to do it. I have no one to answer to but myself, so I'm going to do it. But yeah, so I'm going to send Jack a tanto. This has just become a great meet and greet. This live stream, this has been good. Yeah, no worries, Sarah. I will see you at the next one. Most likely in a week, more likely 8 days. I've got to figure out like regular schedule to do them, but because my work is 4 on, 4 off, I can't do them weekly per se. I can do them like, I don't really know how to describe. Every 8 days is the best way I can describe it. So. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, so I'm gonna move that one up and just put a little bit of spice in it, a little bit of spice in it. Just a white tap, just a real white tap. Make it look a little bit like a seeker. Now that's bent from the handle and not from the blade. Come on. I'll get your opinion. Court of public opinion. Putting the tongs on the tip so you can see the whole thing. What do you guys reckon? Is that a W or an L for a letter opener? Let me know. And while he's deciding, I'm going to fix that. Turn the handle again. I've found it gets increasingly difficult the more work you try and do on smaller bits of steel. Because, hello, hey, come here. I don't know if y'all was a bit of dogs. Come here. So, yeah, just easy to do this. White one's Bella, black one's Macy. Macy's like obsessed with anything that's round. She just loves the play. And Bella is obsessed with food. Because after all, aren't we all? So don't eat that anymore. That's this boy. Anyway, so what was I doing? I was fixing the handle. Yeah, what was wrong with it? Ah, yeah, I see. Just super light touch. And then, now the hand, the blade, sorry, is gone cattywampus, so now I need to fix that. And if I knew it was going to be this much trouble to make a bloody letter opener, I would have just not done it. Anyway, so after this is done, after this is quenched, I will be taking off. So those of you who stuck around, had a look, drop something in the chat. Thanks for coming by. Greatly appreciated. Makes it a lot more fun when people actually watch these. So I don't have to pretend that I'm going to watch this in the future and I'm just giving myself instructions on how to do something. I mean, maybe I will. Like, there's normally funny parts in the video, so there's yeah, more of a tap on that side. It's more of the that fell right through the hole of my glove. That piece of scale there. Yeah, I like to tell myself I record these for posterity, so in future I can look back and be like, look at all this stuff I made. Because half of it gets used or sent somewhere as a gift, so that's just how it be sometimes. But yeah, we'll go over it once more for those of you who didn't see last ones. I made a tanto, so basically I had to like hammer this out nice and flat and put that. So the bevel there has been ground, my blade was all hammered out, so it should make for a strong knife. Not that Jack would hope he doesn't have to. I hope it's just something he keeps on the shelf and goes, look at what my friend made me, and I could be like, hey, I made that next time I see him. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Like, that is the first, it's not the first knife I've made, but that is the first one I've made and it's turned out exactly like I intended it to, and not a whole lot went wrong. And I think the key is to cut a really good blank first from really good steel. Although I've made other knives and they haven't turned out too bad, so it's all in the days, boy. Glass wedge. I think I may have just bent that. No. Oh, it goes on. There we go. I don't need that on anymore, so we'll turn that off. Remember, always bleed your gas lines before you leave it off for good. So, that's what we made tonight. It didn't take me an hour to make that, but I got distracted with talk and stuff. But that's our little letter opener, so I'll just like grind that down. But that's probably thin enough to slip between the sealed part of an envelope. But I'll like clean it up so it's not so wonky on the backside and stuff. But before then, this goes in the oven for 2 hours at the highest temperature the oven goes to. It goes a nice yellow color. And then I grind it back and do it again. But grind it back carefully so I don't change like all the heat treating. So yeah, that's the little letter opener we made tonight. And I'm actually quite, that's a decent little, probably could have left it a bit more flat there for my thumb. Probably could have been kinder to myself, but quite happy with that. The fire poker that you see in the poll, we did start on that, but I'm just going to finish that next week. So this is how far we got. again, I kept getting distracted, so we got like a taper on it, and that's it. So next time this will be cut to a decent length, and we'll square it up, put a nice curl in the bottom, put a couple twists in it, hence the squaring, and that'll be that. And then that'll just be something I'll either send to someone as a gift, or I'll just use around the house myself. So that's our little, that was scrap steel, by the way. That's the part I'm happiest about. That was steel I was going to throw in the bin, but I figured, nah, I'll keep that, I'll turn that into something. And lo and behold, we did. We turned it into a letter opener, which is, honestly, in my opinion, that's why I like doing this. You can recycle stuff. So I'll just disconnect the phone from there. There we go. But yeah, thanks for popping by. If you did, well, you wouldn't have seen that. You wouldn't have heard that if you didn't pop by. Anyway, yeah. So I do these like sort of weekly. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, swing by and come watch me smack steel and talk shit, because we talk shit about Donald Trump's hair for some reason and talked about e-bikes. I don't know what the next topics will be, but I look forward to it. So anyway, I'm starting to feel like I'm having a Joker monologue here, so I'm just going to end this stream if I can figure out how to close the chat. Nope, I can't figure out how to do it. Oh, there we go. All right, have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, wherever you are, and a good life. I'll see you in the next one.